My name is Mark Laumakis, and I am a lecturer in the Department of Psychology at San Diego State University, where I've been teaching for 23 years. I'm primarily the introductory psychology guy. I teach really large sections of intro that can be as big as 500 students in each section. So Achieve and iClicker sort of do different things for me in those classes. On the Achieve side, the main tool that I really value is the learning curve quizzes. So I basically have them do those weekly, so it keeps them on track. And really, I think there's a couple things that students benefit from with those quizzes, which is number one, they get to do what's called retrieval practice. So we know from learning science that the more you pull back out of memory, things that you put into memory, the better you're going to be able to perform with those items on a test. So it gives them lots of retrieval practice opportunities. One thing I do with the ebook content is I pull into my lecture slides some of the really nice visuals. So if I'm teaching parts of the brain, I want to build this bridge between the ebook and what's going on in lecture by showing them in lecture the same, figure of, the lobes of the cortex, for example, that they'll see when they read the book. That works well. So that's the Achieve side. On the iClicker side, for that first month before we have the first test, the iClicker questions are an opportunity for them to see literally questions I pull in from old tests. It's also a way to make the large lecture hall less unidirectional, where I'm just talking at them for 75 minutes. So it breaks things up. It gives them a chance to answer some questions. I get to see what they know. They get to see what they know or don't know. It works really well. It changes the dynamic in the room. Prior to using something like iClicker, basically I'll lecture, and as a bullet point went up, all of their heads would go down and they would write. And then they look up again, and I'd say some things, and I'd push another bullet point, and they were transcribing. And I'm like, that's not really going to help them learn. I'm going to need to do something else. So iClicker lets me do that. If you think about I want the classroom to be more interactive. Well, iClicker is a way to do that. Or I want to give students an opportunity outside of class to practice more. Well, Learning Curve will be great for that sort of thing. So it should be purposeful, what you choose to use. I would say that first. And then second, I'd say, you don't need to use 14 different things. You can, get a lot of leverage with maybe a couple of items. If you do some of the work up front, you can amortize that labor over many, many subsequent semesters. So once you sort of get Achieve set up the way that works really well for you, you're just copying it over and you're tweaking it at the edges. And it's not, it's not a laborious undertaking every single semester. You're not starting from scratch. Maybe during the summer, prepping for the fall, you do it once. You could be using, that labor over the next 5, 6, 7, 8 semesters. Most of these tools are so easy to use now. It's not a heavy lift to get started. Macmillan's support around these tools is really fantastic. So if you did get a little lost or a little overwhelmed, you're not going to be on your own sitting there on Sunday night trying to fix something that's broken. There's tremendous support around these tools, and they work. I think the best thing about these things is they're really simple. They work, and then if you need help from somebody, people are there to provide. I've never felt frustrated or annoyed with this stuff, and that's not always the case, with other folks.